Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Every single Friday you and I chat about something special. I love the comment section. If you've always been shy about commenting, come on, feel free. We're all family and I get to read each one of them. In fact, if there's something you'd like me to talk about, some content that's very close to your heart, the comment section is where it's at. So I went to Spice and Sizzle. Let's do this. So Spice and Sizzle, organized by Faith Nabagala and Grace Linda, who you've met here on the vlog before, was such an amazing event. I mean, we had our guest of honor as Dr. Miriam Matembe, probably the most interesting person I have sat next to because I laughed from beginning to end. She's got very stern opinions about issues, and she's just a fun lady to be around. I mean, you could never peg her as someone just fun to be around, and I was pleasantly surprised. I've interacted with her before, but it was just amazing to see her in her casual element and having a good time. The ladies looked amazing, the ladies were there to learn, and it was not like any other event I've attended before. We talked about everything from surprisingly sexual health, hormones, ladies. We talked about money and ownership, owning land. Ladies, not just, you let somebody purchase the land with your money and then you don't even look at the paperwork, so you don't know the details. We talked about making decisions, and that was me actually. We talked about relationships. And we also talked about just etiquette. Things like, do not, when you go into an event and you sit somewhere, don't put your handbag on the table, which is a mistake I have been making many times, but I know better now. But at the event, I spoke about making bold decisions as women. And I was saying that there's so many reasons why I had actually not made some bold decisions in my life, especially growing up. You need to realize that a decision, by plain English, is the resolution you reach after consideration. You think, and you decide on something. And I said, us as women are afraid of too many things which hold us back on making certain decisions in our lives. One I shared that was the fear of competition. Whether it's in the workspace, you're afraid of your colleague, you're afraid if they help you, they might take credit, you're afraid if you share something with someone, they might not understand you. So we're always afraid of competition, and because of that, we never grow out of where we are, we never decide to take our lives to the next step. It could be fear of competition in relationships. Some of you are saying, you know what, if I put my foot down in this relationship, then he might leave me for somebody else, or the other person looks better than me. So there's always a fear of competition, and because of that, you never really make bold decisions in your life. And then you have the fear of society. You and I know this one very well. What will people think of me? People trust me to do this and this. People trust me to be like this. Or I've seen people abuse people who take that direction, so I won't take it. Or people expect men to do this. People expect women to be like this. And so you confine yourself in that fear of society. Then you have your family, of course. My family doesn't expect me to marry this kind of person, or to study this kind of thing, or to live here. And so you're always confined. And the biggest fear that holds you and I back to make bold decisions is yourself. Yes. There's a box in here where you're always telling yourself all sorts of things. I'm not good enough. I don't have the right weight. I'm too fat. I'm too stupid. I'm a bit lazy. I'm overwhelmed. Me. And every time you say I, please always follow it up with something amazing. For example, this week I've had a very, very long week. I've had so much to do with so little time to sleep. And at some point I was tempted. I might even have thought it, that I was overwhelmed and I couldn't do it. But I told myself, you're a beast, you're good at this, you're hardworking, and you've got the time. And the more you repeat it to yourself, you find yourself just snapping in and just taking the challenge. So we've talked about the fears that hold you back to make great decisions: society, family, competition, and you. So what does it mean to make bold decisions, or what is entailed in making bold decisions? I'm only sharing with you what has worked for me. The only reason I've come into myself and decided on things quickly and instantly, and things that have made sense for me, is because I learned how to say no. No, you can't have my time. No, you can't waste it. No, you can't have my money. No, you can't have my space. No, you just say no. You understand? And sometimes the no, you're saying no to a good deal, something that honestly should be good for you, a good job. And the second bold decision I want you to make is to demand the right things for you. Demand for better standards, demand for better value. You know how I've always complained about customer care in Uganda, where you show up to a restaurant and someone makes it look like they're doing you a favor to serve you this food that you're going to pay for. You know, and then when you put your foot down, people are like, you cheek, relax. You're like, no, I work hard for my money. You know, I should put my foot down. But it's because we're in a society where people are not used to you demanding great stuff or good things for yourself. When you're too demanding of high standards, we're panka, or you're too arrogant. When you demand values and standards in your relationship, who's going to marry you? Who's going to love you? Because your standards are too high. Lower them a bit, and then you might meet someone. When you demand high standards in the workplace, you chick. Really? Are you sure? Anyway, you know, so forget those for the naysayers who are saying that your standards are too high. Make that bold decision and say, these are my standards. But let me also warn you that once you set standards, you have got to live up to them. Because the only way people are going to respect those standards is because they've seen you respecting them. So that's two decisions. One, say no where you can. Two, demand great standards. And the third is let go. I love this one because I learned the hard way to let go of things. But it's a bold decision. It's a bold decision in your friendships, and we've talked about this before. If someone is toxic energy and bad energy in your life, let go. We've talked about people who are holding on to a job where you know your passion is somewhere else. You'd rather put and invest your time in your passion, but you're saying for 30 years, I'll work in the same place, in the same desk, and with the same people, and you're not growing. Let go of things, honestly, that are going to be heavy, not just in the short term, but even in the long run. I've had to quit a job that I really, really loved, that I had really put my energy into, only because the space and the environment was not healthy for me. It was draining and taking away from me more than it was giving me. And I decided after 6 months, I said, you know what, I have to let go. And the next decision to make is to be free to dream. It doesn't cost you anything. No one is going to charge you for using your mind to dream big. No. Maybe it's at implementation or action where it can cost you money, but honestly, be free to dream. You're never going to tell me that it's expensive for you to hope to own a certain car or to dream to own a certain place or to travel certain places. It's free to dream, okay? I know there's a certain lady on Facebook who I always love listening to, and a lot of people have opinions about her because she's so bold. She's called Jojo K. Taylor. Check her out. If she's not your cup of tea, fine. But she's always bragging about how I own a Range Rover. My standards are I drive a Range Rover. And I'll never degrade because I'm going to drive another Range Rover and another one. And I'm going to go to, you know, car shops and sit in the car and dream and see how comfortable it is to sit in those leather seats. And I thought, that's nice. And she said, it's free. It's free to dream. It's free to check out your dreams. So you're somebody who likes to travel but can't afford to travel. But you're even afraid to just go to the airport. My friend, just somebody's going to the airport. So let me drive with you. Departures goes there. Oh, arrival is here. Don't wait until a dream comes true, because actually it will never come true. The more you see your dream closer and sniff it, the easier it is to work on it. Anyways, that was Spice and Sizzle and some of what I shared at Spice and Sizzle. Until next week, bye-bye.